talked about the REPL, we talked about assignment statements, expression statements. We went on a break, and very important to remember, beautiful is better than ugly. Tomorrow we're going to have, or sorry, the next class we're going to have another one of those Zen of Python quotes in there. But yes.
No, now, I just printed that out and I was reading. It's the I think those are very careful thoughts that are good.
I love them. I don't think it only relates to Python. It
exactly.
relates to real life. That's how you just make your life simple. I don't want anybody to imply anything. Just explain yourself. Let's carry on. Yeah, it's really, really good. I love it very much. Yeah. Awesome. So let's carry on again. We had to talk about expressions. We started looking at some expressions. What is an expression? An expression is a combination of values, variables, operators. But guess what? Just a value itself could be an expression. Just a variable itself could be an expression, like that mango that we talked about. All of them by themselves could be expressions. But one thing we have not yet talked about is operators. Okay, so we haven't talked about operators yet. So might as well jump in and talk about them. What are operators? Operators let you perform certain operations on your variables and their values. Okay, you can use just values or you could use variables. Most of the time, variables are better because you can monitor and keep track of them throughout your life cycle. So there are two main types of operators in Python: arithmetic operators and assignment operators. There are a bunch of them. You don't need to remember all of them. You can always research. But obviously, arithmetic, everybody is familiar with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. The few that you're not very familiar with is the modulus. The modulus is going to perform division, but it returns only the remainder. So for instance, if you have 15 divided by 2, only the remainder is going to only the remainder is going to be outputted. Okay, another very important formula, another very important operator is the quotient operator, or in here it's called the floor division. So it's going to perform that division, but it's going to give you only the whole number. It's not going to give you the remainder. Okay, so sometimes you're only interested in the whole number. Maybe you want to check how many $1 bills are in a certain number, or how many cents, or how many dimes, or how many pennies are in a certain number in your change. When you want to calculate change, you can use floor and modulus to get those. For exponents, you just use the multiplication twice, and there's also other ones for I think there's division. Yeah, we already talked about division. But yeah, these are the basic arithmetic operators. We also have logical operators, which I'm not going to talk about here. Logical operators are when you compare and then you compare with or. So in that case, you use something like this. But again, we talked about PEMDAS, which is BODMAS. Since we are in the United States of America, we get to talk about PEMDAS, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, in that order. Or BODMAS, right? BODMAS is brackets of, which is multiplication, I believe. Division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. So yeah, that's what BODMAS or PEMDAS. I'm definitely going to update that slide.
Definitely. Do our African brothers favor there.
Definitely. When I say that to my learners, they're like, what is BODMAS? I'm like, you guys need to research that, and then they can come back to me and tell me the next day. But yeah, so now I'm doing it on the flip side. But for our assignment operators, right? Equal to sign is an assignment operator. One thing that you have to remember here is the equal to sign is different from two equal to signs. One is an assignment operator, one is an equality operator. We'll talk about that in next week. Definitely, we'll talk about that. And sometimes you see code that has plus equal to. What they're saying here is a plus equal to 10 means take the value of a, add 10 to it, and assign it back to a. So pretty much it means a equal to a plus 10, and so on and so forth. Right now, you'll not be used to this, but eventually after practicing, after seeing it a few times, it will become second nature to you. When you see that, there's also two ways you can do it. You can add it before, or you can add it after. All right. So question, Aaron. So
I wasn't sure what is the advantage of doing the short form there, right? Because when I looked at it, I was like, these guys are just making things difficult. Is it that it makes the code to run faster? What is the advantage?
Very good. It doesn't make the code run faster or anything. Most people don't like it. Most people dislike it. But it depends. When you have a longer expression, then it becomes easier for you to write it that way. But for readability purposes, you probably don't want to do that. So again, you just want to avoid repetition. In this case, we're using A and A, so it might sound easy or it might look easy. But if you had a long name for a variable, maybe 5 letters, 10 letters, you don't want to write 10 letters and equal to 10 letters, and then you do your computation. You probably just want to write it once and know that it's the same thing that you're looking at.
So if you're looking at, let's say, software engineers or whatever you call them, I don't know, developers, I don't know. This time by industry, I have no clue.
Yes. So again,
and somebody has it, the short form.
Yes.
Does it tell you that guy is more experienced compared to the guy that does the long way?
No, it just depends on personal preference, I think, or what the team actually does. And there's something known as when you hear that a hacker hacked into a software and they were able to see their signature, it will actually build your own signature, your programming, the way you code, your signature of coding. If somebody knows that you always use this shortcut, when they see that in the code, they know, you're definitely the one that wrote it. So things like that build up your pattern, your signature of writing code, what kind of functions you like using, what functions you don't like using, how you use your code, if you add comments and all those other things on there. But personally, I don't mind using it. I don't use it rarely. Obviously, there's also something known as what's the right way of calling this word? I hate it when it evades me. After you write your code, you might want to come back and refactor it. So definitely you don't write your code once and for all. You write it once, you come back and say, how else can I make it more efficient? How can I make it look cleaner, neater, prettier, faster, and easier to understand? That's known as refactoring. So you're done writing the code, it executes just perfectly fine, but you come back and refactor it. Maybe you want to make it look shorter, you know, instead of having 100 lines of code, maybe make it 50 to make sure that it fits on the screen. So all of those things you might want to do it to refactor your code. Does that help?
Yeah, actually, that's what I not that I write any fancy stuff, but if I do my 2-3 lines of code, I always do the long way, and then I come back and
refactor it.
Yes,
definitely, excellent. So yes, that's what we get here when we look at all these operators. So let me go ahead and share with you some operations. Let's see if we can make sense of that. Here we did that, we did not execute it, so we had 50. I can go ahead and say price equal to price plus, let's put a space, 25. And now I want to be able to print out what the price is. This is what I want. Okay, so if I do that, what should I have for the price?
75.
75 is true, but I could have done it in a short form and say price plus equal to 25. Let me put a space in there. Now what do I have for the price?
Still 75.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's gonna be simple.
Yes.
Okay, so at this point in time, we have already updated that value, right?
Oh, 100.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be 75 plus 25.
Yes, it's going to be 75 plus 25. So yeah, we should have 100 in this case. There you go. Sounds good?
Yep.
So what if I go ahead and say print price plus price? What should I have?
Print price
200.
200.
That is exactly correct. 200 it is. Sounds good? Because right now price is 100. But I'm printing price, adding it together, and then you have that.
So if you print price, or if you, oh boy, no, it's gonna be complicated. Price, no, price minus. Sorry, no, I'm not gonna bring that in.
That's exactly what I was actually thinking. What if I went ahead and said 3 times price divided by 2, or let's say divided by 10, maybe, plus 20. What do we get?
30?
That BODMAS thing comes in.
Yeah.
There you go. That's where the problem is. So we need to now start figuring out which one gets executed first. This definitely gets executed last. So we need to do this first. But are we going to multiply before we divide? Or are we going to divide before we multiply?
Multiply before divide.
So if we multiply, we end up with 600. Oh wait, 300 divided by 10.
So no, price is 200 right now, right?
Price plus price is 200.
Okay, price is 100. Yeah.
Yes.
3. So it's 30 plus 20.
So we should have 50, right?
Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
No, 3 times 200 is.
Remember, price is 100.
Price is still 100.
No matter what.
So price is 100 right now. Because we had 100 plus 100 is 200.
Yes.
Okay. So let's try that. 50 it is.
Yeah.
But now we are having 50.0. Why is it 50.0?
Because of the division, right? It's getting us into float.
Exactly. When we divide, we get a float. So if I was to go ahead and say this was the answer, and assign that in there, and decide that I wanted to print the answer, and also find out what data type the answer is, if I can type that, then I should be able to print 50.0 and float. So execute that. That's what we get. Question, Nigel?
Yes, Rob. You see where we said price was equals 200, right? I have an issue with that because at no point did we assign price equals 200. All we did was in the computative, that price plus price equals 200. But at no point did we assign price equals 200. So how come when we're doing the computation now, price became 200 when we had not assigned it to be 200?
Very good, very good. So we started off with assigning price to 99.9. Immediately we changed it to 50. We printed 50. We added 25 to that 50. We ended up with 75. Right here, we did an assignment, additional assignment. I think I've forgotten the right terminology for this. If it's increment assignment.
Increment.
Yeah.
By 25.
So we increased by 25 and we ended up with 100. We are assigning it automatically here to price. So price is now 100, as you can see when we print it.
Yes.
But on line 32, line 32 is just adding 100 and 100. So price is still 100, but we are printing an addition of price and price. Okay. So right here, price is still 100.
Okay. All right, it makes sense now. Okay, yeah, because I was looking at no point did we assign price to be 200. So I was very confused. But I get it now. Thank you.
Exactly. Excellent. So at this point, we can go ahead and say maybe we want to figure out if our price is still at 100, I can go ahead and write a comment and say at this point, price is 100. This line of code is not going to get executed because that's a comment. It starts with an not an ampersand, a pound, a hashtag. But I can go ahead and also create a new variable and say tax. I'm not sure what the tax is where you are, but let's say it's 3%. Okay. If the tax is 3%, then the total should be equal to the price times the tax, right? And then we can go ahead and print. Let's try to be nice and say the total is, we print that string, and then we go ahead and print the total. You'll notice here that this print is not going to work because I use uppercase, so I should change it to lowercase. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
So what do we think we're going to have in this case?
So yes, about $30, 34. Wait, 3% of that. We have about $3. So
yeah, my computation looks like it's first of all wrong. So this is total tax. Should make it lowercase. And now my real total would be equal to price plus total tax. Right?
Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay.
Yeah.
So in order for me to get the tax for 100 is 3%, so that's going to be $3 maybe. And then now my total would be
$103.
103. So let's print that out. 103. Looks good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's how you go about creating a small calculator to do anything. But everything so far is really fixed. You know, we don't really have much to do. We're always going to have our tax to be this, and we're always going to have our price to be 100. Okay. But that's totally fine. Yes.
We could, is it possible that you see where we're saying print the total is? Could we pass the value of total or that variable total in that statement?
Very good question. Did everybody get that? So can we have this in here rather than having prints twice? What do you guys think? Does anybody have an idea?
Yeah, the F string should give you that. I use the F string to put that on the same line.
Very good. So you can use the F string. There are many ways you can do it. That's why I keep telling you guys, understand that coding is a creative art. We can all go different routes to get to a destination. So there are many ways you can get to it. I'll definitely get to that. Since today, this is definitely outside the scope of our objectives today. I don't want to confuse you, but you can definitely use a lot of ways to get that. You know, just by using a comma, that should be totally fine as well. It's going to be able to append that. But if you execute that, you can see that the total is that. But I didn't want to write it that way because you get confused what's going on. Sounds good? So the print, you can concatenate using a comma, and it's totally fine. Normally, if I use a plus, it's going to be a problem because the first part is a string. The second part is a float, as we already know. So it's telling you here that the type of error is you can only concatenate string to a string, not to a float. So if I wanted to do that, what I'll need to do is maybe change this to string by putting it in quotes. So this is known as casting.
Yeah.
Right? So let me go ahead and add a comment in there. Casting. Think about you breaking your arm or breaking your leg, which is what has happened here. Our code has broken. In order for us to fix it, we need to cast it. We put a cast around it. So we put a cast, which is a string cast, the cement cast in this case, around it. And if we execute it, it should be okay. But now we have not changed total. Total is there. We just changed it to a string. But Python is really user-friendly. That's why it says Python is easy to write because you don't need all of that. You don't even need the F string. You just use a comma and everything looks just fine. So again, those are 2-3 different ways of writing it. You know, it's totally fine using it whichever way, depending on how you want to do it. If you're in a rush, do it the way you know how to do it. When you have time, come back and refactor your code and you're good.
Prof, I know maybe I'm driving a little bit out of the scope, but can you just show me that F string? Because we're not going to meet until we start today, right? I want to really be playing with a lot of the things.
Okay, so let's get it on fire.